What's good, y'all? It's your boy Sean P, the Bluff Guy. Hey! And we are back with another One Piece reaction. Today we will be reacting to Den Kushi. And he's going to tell us the true reason Blackbeard went to Drum Island. And this like one of those situations I actually forgot happened, right? Blackbeard going to Drum Island. So I'm gonna have to be refreshed from this. I'm gonna have to be refreshed for this. So we gonna see what Den has to say about this whole situation, because I personally don't have any speculation on it. But before we get into this though, before we get into the video, make sure you guys hit that like button, also subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. Also comment down below your thoughts on the theory. What did I get right? What did I get wrong? Let me know. Let me know about the reaction, right? Let me know about my reaction. Also, follow me on Twitch so you can engage with me in real time. You could catch me live with these things and engage with, and you can engage. You could talk to me. You could talk to me straight up. Let me know if you disagree or agree with what I got to say. You may sway my opinion, right? You could sway my opinion, but that's only if you're there talking to me live, right? Also, follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook if you want to connect with me directly, or join the Discord. That's usually where I'm the most active at. That's probably the best place to connect with me. Or if you want to send me content to react to, I have a submission channel there. Or if you want to join a future discussion stream, make sure you are a part of the Discord. Anyway, y'all, like I said, we are reacting to Den Kushi, and the title of this video is The True Reason Blackbeard Went to Drum Island. And like I said, I don't really have much thoughts on this. Like I don't really know how to address this, because it's like one of them situations that always escape my mind. So it's usually not one of them theories or speculations that is ever really at the forefront of my mind. So I don't have any speculation on why Blackbeard went to Drum Island. Like I honestly don't have it. So we're gonna just get straight into the video, because like I said, I don't really know. I don't have any idea why Blackbeard went to Drum Island. I'd be forgetting he went to Drum Island, honestly. You know what I'm saying? But if you guys have any idea, make sure y'all let me know. Let me know why Blackbeard possibly went to Drum Island. You know, was he looking for a devil fruit? Is there like some, Wapple metal creation at Drum Island that maybe Blackbeard learned of and he's trying to get that? Maybe Wapple built some type of contraption that Blackbeard wants. I don't know. I don't know where to go with this theory, but let's get into the video.
Talk about mainly Blackbeard and what he's been up to. So essentially today I want to talk about mainly Blackbeard.
They got Den actually talking on this one, man. Like Den actually, like, I know usually he has like that voice thing. It's like a little voice, a text to speech type thing, like I don't know what you call those things, but I guess that's what you call it, a text to speech or whatever. At least that's what it sounds like. It could be something different that he uses, but it's like usually a different voice, some text to speech type voice thing that's doing his voiceovers for his videos. But we actually got Den talking over the video. Shout out to Den Kushi. I don't even know if he's still in the chat, but shout out to Den Kushi.
Blackbeard and what he's been up to and the reason why he's been doing these things. This is since essentially the Sun God reveal in Wano, which blew a lot of people's minds, made some people unhappy, But basically, when it was revealed, it was a Hito. Something I've been thinking about for a while.
People were upset. People were upset about the Sun God Nico reveal. I guess maybe because a lot of people looked at it as like a ass pull power up. I can see why maybe people don't like this power up with the gear fifth thing. I get it, because some people might look at it in a similar light to Naruto when we got the whole Kaguya reveal. It was just something unexpected and just a bit outside the scope of what we've seen in the series up until now. I think that the fact that Oda kind of gave us little breadcrumbs leading up to the reveal, I personally don't mind it. To me, when we look at the Kaguya reveal in Naruto, to me that was just completely like unexpected, and it was just like, now we're talking aliens, right? Like there was, up to that point, we never had an inkling of an idea about Kaguya, right? Or aliens, whatever Kaguya's species is in Naruto, the Atsuku clan or whatever. I don't remember. Like at that point in Naruto, I kind of like was like, oh my goodness, why are they doing it? I kind of fell off a little bit about it. I haven't been watching Boruto, but when it comes to the whole Gear Fifth thing, I could kind of see why people would be a little upset. I wasn't upset. I think Oda was kind of setting up for it before the reveal. So the fact that he was kind of setting up for it, I don't think, I'm not per se mad. Like if it's just something he just randomly did, right? Like there was no amount of like setup being, like there was nothing setting up for it, I'd be a little upset, right? I might be a little upset, but I wasn't too upset about the Nico reveal. I was, I liked it personally, but I can see why some people might be upset about it.
For a while, it sort of triggered in me, and I've not really been able to put it down since. So basically, I did make a video a while back about Blackbeard on Roger's ship or being involved with God Valley and Zebek, and it made me realise when I was making it how tied Blackbeard's fruit is to Luffy's, and it's something that's now discussed a bit more, but it's pretty crazy actually.
Oh, see, I know I've been saying that. I've been saying that a lot about Blackbeard's devil fruit, the Yami Yami being tied with the Gumu Gumu. Bruh, it's just, to me, it's weird that the two most important characters in the series that I would say, as far as as because I look at both Blackbeard and Luffy as being the two top candidates to find the One Piece. That's why I'm saying Blackbeard's probably one of the top characters in the series, because I think his role is probably going to be the most important, but in more of an antithesis sense, right? Like he's going to be one of two of Luffy's biggest rivals, right? And since that's the case, they're super connected, right? I think they're connected through their goal. Like they both, I think, are going to be the two characters that are most likely to find Laugh Tale and find the One Piece. Also, you look at them; they both have similar looking devil fruits. They're both purple. I think Luffy's have a stem. Blackbeard's kind of have like a little bush, whatever, coming out the top of it. I think the Yami Yami could be literally the brother fruit, the twin fruit of the Gumu Gumu or the Hito Hito no Mi Nika. Maybe its true nature might be hidden as well with the Yami Yami, because again, we talk about Luffy's devil fruit. It was always promoted to be a Promethea, but we learned that it's a zone, right? But when you look at Blackbeard's devil fruit, it's a Logia, but it doesn't really have the same characteristics as Logia's. It's more Promethea like than a Logia like, and it could possibly be a zone as well. You know what I mean? But I think it's just a lot of connections, a lot of hints when it comes to Blackbeard's devil fruit that Oda's been giving us.
Not many fruits in the One Piece world have such strong similarities or contrasts. Not on this level, anyway. So to cover the basics of the similarities, both the fruits are obviously the same color, they're the same shape. They are very similar fruits, just with different stems. Blackbeard's fruit is just a little more Mera-Mera-esque, like it's a bit more wavy.
More
but
leafy.
You can tell what Oda's done. It's a different version of...
It's more leafy, where Luffy's fruit is more smooth around, right? Kind of more like you could say Blackbeard's is more closer to a pineapple, maybe. Even though pineapple's, kind of smooth too, but maybe not pineapple. More like cabbage, right? Like Blackbeard's fruit is more like maybe cabbage, where it's leafy, where Luffy's fruit is more like an orange or apple. It's smooth around, and then like apple has that stem. So, those are pretty much the difference. But other than that, bro, they look just alike, or they look very, very similar, right? They're both purple. They're both round or spherical. They both have the spirals, even though the spirals the spiral designs are a bit different on each of them, but they're very similar, though. They're very similar.
Of the Gomu, really, just with a different stalk. Now, another interesting parallel between the two, or it's more of a contrast, it's very established that Blackbeard and the Yami deal in darkness, which he equates to gravity, basically. But Luffy is revealed to be Sun God Nika. Now, sun and darkness are clearly opposite, like heat and light and dark and cold. They're opposites. Both characters seem like they've tied into inherited will. And we find out that the will of the Nika Nika fruit can essentially, well, it has its own will almost. It can influence things around it. So it wouldn't surprise me if Blackbeard's fruit had some sort of influence on him, which allowed him to kill Thatch.
And you know something? Now that I actually think about it, like comparing their devil fruits, both of them pretty much ate a devil fruit that was possibly meant for somebody else, right? Like Blackbeard, like Thatch had the Yami Yami no Mi, and Blackbeard killed Thatch for that devil fruit and ate it. Whereas Luffy, Shanks had the Gumu Gumu no Mi, at least that's what we called it back in the day, right? And Luffy didn't kill Shanks for it, of course. Luffy was a kid, but he still kind of ate it while Shanks wasn't paying attention. So, and Shanks, I don't think Shanks was intending on giving that devil fruit to Luffy, but Luffy still took it and ate it. It was just not as violent as the Blackbeard thing, right? It was more like Blackbeard betrayed his friend to get his devil fruit, where Luffy didn't betray his friend. He made a friend. You could say he made a friend in Shanks to get that devil fruit. Where Blackbeard betrayed his friend, seeing how, they were crewmates, so they probably were close. Blackbeard betrayed his friend to get his devil fruit. So they both, how they got their devil fruits is similar, right? Except where Luffy made a friend and just ate his devil fruit, Blackbeard betrayed his friend to eat his devil fruit, and Luffy wasn't looking for a devil fruit, where Blackbeard was looking for a devil fruit. So, it's just kind of interesting how their journey of getting their primary devil fruits went, right? Kind of mirrors.
In the first place. And from there, he was possessed by Zebek, which again I speculated before, particularly because the island was said to disappear off the map, which is a real distinct thing to add for Oda. So anyway, I think it's possible that Blackbeard's fruit is a twin of Luffy's, which would make it a Hito fruit, essentially, which definitely fits the story considering the
I might have to disagree with that. Not completely. I think I don't think you're wrong. I don't think like it's, I think it's possible that the Yami Yami is a Hito. It's possible. I think that I'm just saying where I disagree. I agree that they're twins. I just don't think it necessarily means that Blackbeard's devil fruit has to be a zone or even a Hito, right? Like, it could be a Promethean and still be a twin, right? But I don't fully disagree. I think that it's possible that the Yami Yami is really like the Hito Hito no Mi model moon god or something along that line, right? Like I believe it could be something like that because, like I said earlier, the Yami Yami no Mi does not act like a Logia. From what we've seen Logias and how they act, right? How Logias act, the Yami Yami no Mi does not act like a Logia. You know, it doesn't have the same characteristics. It's just classified as a Logia because darkness is looked at as like an elemental thing, right? So just because it's looked at as an elemental thing, it's kind of looked at as like Logias because Logias are usually dealing with elements, right? But that's the only thing it really shares. That's the only characteristic the Yami Yami no Mi shares with Logias. You know, it doesn't have that intangible factor though that we know Logias to have. You know what I mean? So to me, that just says that maybe it's not a Logia. You know, it works more closer to a Prometheus, but we know zones could also be similar to Prometheus as well. So, you know, I'm just saying it could be a Prometheus. It could be like a special Prometheus, kind of like Katakuri's. But I am in agreement that it's most likely going to be a zone, like a special zone devil fruit. You know, like a mythical zone, like a Hito Hito no Mi moon god or something. You know what I mean? Or some other god that we may not necessarily be considering, right? I have to look at like see like let me know like because I know some of you guys be hip to these things. Is there like a darkness god some in like some mythology, maybe like Japanese mythology, or it could be Norse mythology, or I don't think it'd be Greek mythology because that might be like Hades or something, but I don't think it's Hades. Uh, but yeah, maybe there's like a darkness god that it's related to.
Rivalry between the two, Blackbeard and Luffy, even if it's not direct. For example, when they sit next to each other and they compete eating pie, which interestingly, one of them's cherry pie. We know cherry relates to cherry blossom but inherited will. But anyway, the point is that I believe that the two fruits are twins. Now, we know Blackbeard went to Drum, and we don't know exactly why. And there's been lots of speculation as to why, like about the doctors, etc. But I believe he went there for Chopper's Hitonomi. Not knowing that Chopper had already eaten it, I believe he couldn't find it because the island is frozen. And we know that cold suppresses will. Similar to with the straw hat in Marijois.
That is an interesting idea. So it makes me think, right? If Blackbeard was going there for the Chopper's devil fruit, did Blackbeard think that devil fruit was the same Hito Hito no Mi that Luffy has? Like maybe Blackbeard is aware of Luffy's devil fruit, so he thought that the one that Chopper has was the one that Luffy has, right? Like he thought maybe it was that, or was he looking for Chopper's devil fruit, like the exact same one? Because then that would mean that maybe Chopper's devil fruit is more special somehow. You know what I mean? That would mean that Chopper's devil fruit, his Hito Hito no Mi, is special. If Blackbeard was looking for it, you know what I mean?
Kiji used Ice Time Catchall on Ohara, which allowed him to preserve the will of the Oharan people. Also, Chopper's fruit is very significant as well. Like, now, decades later, after his character has been sort of introduced, we realize that his technology and...
Bro, I ain't gonna lie. Oda hold out Chopper's Monster Point, bro. Chopper's Monster Point was so badass when it was introduced, and now it was just kind of like when he got control of it, it kind of killed the greatness of that moment. Not that moment specifically, but that transformation, because it just kind of watered it down. Like I loved the craziness of Monster Point Chopper. It was kind of like Jackal and Mr. Hyde or something, right? Where Chopper turned into this big monster that he can't control, kind of like the Hulk and Bruce Banner, right? Like it was such a dope moment, bro. And then it was like Chopper never got a dope moment like that again, bro. Monster Point Chopper. Nah, but I don't. I take that back because Monster Point Chopper ain't complete. He's not a complete bum because we seen that he went against Queen. Kind of held his own against Queen. I'm not saying Queen was like hurting or nothing, but he wasn't. He was like throwing Queen around and stuff. Which to be able to pick up Queen and throw him around, that takes a level of strength. Because Queen was a big dude, like so that means that Chopper was definitely his strength is up there, right? He just didn't have the strength to actually damage Queen because Queen being a zone is tough. Like he's a very tough, especially being a dinosaur zone. He's super adorable, right? He's super adorable. But man, Monster Point Chopper was greatness. Local says Chopper lost faith when Luffy lost. He did.
And his ability to use Monster Point is highly advanced. Nobody in the world can do what he's done. So I find that interesting considering the fruit he's had is a Hito. But also, the imagery of the Hito Chopper 8 is a Fly Agaric mushroom. Now, Fly Agaric is extremely dangerous if consumed raw. It's doable, but it's very, very, very dangerous. But if you can prepare it right, it will essentially, once you've consumed it, you can have a very powerful trip.
Are those look like the mushrooms from Mario. It look like the mushroom from Mario that when you eat it, you become like adult Mario.
Is a Fly Agaric mushroom. Now, Fly Agaric is extremely dangerous if consumed raw. It's doable, but it's very, very, very dangerous. But if you can prepare it right, it will essentially, once you've consumed it, you can have a very powerful trip. These are one of the most powerful mushrooms on the planet, tied with psychedelia, and the experience is described often as trans-dimensional, and by a wide group of people. A lot of people often see the same thing. So, yeah, it's interesting. I think such a significant, considering what we've seen from Oda with fauna, his ideas about aliens at times or space, and because mushrooms and these type of fauna were tied in to theories, real life theories regarding ancient history as humans and how our brains developed so large so quickly. So I think it's definitely significant that Oda's included it. Now, it's also
come on now, come on, bro. Like, this is what I mean when Oda hold out Monster Point Chopper. Like, all this, like, come on now, bro. I don't want to see Monster Point Chopper doing all that stuff, bro. Come on now. But there was something I kind of wanted to point out. I forgot what I wanted to point out. It was something I wanted to point out about, but okay. It's weird how Chopper's Devil Fruit kind of look like that Mario mushroom, but it's like Chopper eats it and he transforms kind of like Mario transforms into an adult. So I just thought that was interesting. You said Loco, not a fruit looks like a D. Well, I mean mushrooms, and I've seen mushrooms that look like like those. But it still does look like the Mario mushroom.
It essentially appears to evolve Chopper from a reindeer to a human, even though some would argue that's...
Oh yeah, I remember what I wanted to, what I was thinking of. I'm curious to how Blackbeard knew that the Hito no Mi, like Chopper's Devil Fruit, was at Drum Island. You know what I mean? Like, how would he have known that it was at Drum Island? Is there do certain devil fruits have a tendency to grow certain locations? Right? Like, maybe that type of devil fruit grows in Winter Islands, or maybe it just grows at Drum Island specifically. Like every time it respawns, it grows on Drum Island. Like I wonder how Blackbeard would have known it was on Drum Island. Like I'm genuinely curious for that. You know, unless he heard that somebody ate that devil fruit on that island and he was going to go take it from him. But I'm curious. I'm curious how Blackbeard would have known it was on Drum Island.
Because it essentially appears to evolve Chopper from a reindeer to a human, even though some would argue that's more of a devolution. But anyway, the point is it ties in with evolution. And I think this is interesting, but I'll touch on it again in a minute. After Drum Island, we also see Blackbeard goes to Impel Down and he frees some prisoners. But again, we don't know the specifics as to why. A lot of us assume this, that, and the other. But truth be told, One Piece is a bit hand-holding. Like, if Blackbeard's reason was simple and clear and not significant, Oda would have just stated it outright, in my opinion. So what's significant about Blackbeard going to Impel Down? Well, pretty simple. Another interesting thing about Impel Down is we see San Juan is there, and he is released. We have a very distinct amount of information about his fruit, but some very, as I say, distinct bits missing. So, for example, we know he's some sort of giant, and we know he has the ability to change his dimensions, his size. However, we don't actually know the name of his fruit, which leads me to believe that Blackbeard went to Impel Down to free San Juan to gain another Hito Nomi. We saw Luffy change his dimensions in terms of size, and he has a Hito, and now we see it again in San Juan. And the fact that he's described as a giant, but also has the ability to change size, but not given the name of his fruit, I think is significant. And in terms of the themes of giant...
Can San Juan shrink, though? Can he shrink, like, to the size of a normal human? I'm curious. Or is he always, like, super big, you know? Or is he, like... at his smallest, is he still big? Like, is he still a giant at his smallest, but at his biggest, you know, like that's when we seen him at Marineford, you know? Like, I'm genuinely curious. And it would make sense, right, for him to be able to, like, depending on how big he is, for him to be able to walk through the water. Because, again, a lot of people believe that water weakens devil fruit users, but it's not the water that weakens them. It's being submerged in water. Like if the water comes to your ankles, like Luffy, for example, if he's walking in a shallow body of water and it only comes up to his, like, halfway up his knee, right? Like halfway up his shin, right? It will affect him, but he's not going to, like, get so weak that he falls and drown. Unless if he falls in the water and now his whole body is submerged, then yeah, he would definitely be super weak and he'll probably drown in it. But if this just comes up to, like, halfway up his shin or his calf, it's not going to, like, it's not going to stop him from being able to walk around. Now, if it's up past his waist, then he might lose, like, he might get too weak to where he just falls in and then drown, you know what I mean? But so with San Juan, if he's big enough to where he like the ocean only comes up to his halfway up his shin, then it makes sense that it only just weakens him, you know what I mean? So, but if he could shrink and then get on like a normal ship, you know, he'd be good. He'd be good.
That we see in the One Piece story, I think it is significant, and I think San Juan is a Hito user, and I think Blackbeard went there to free him. We also see Onimaru has a Hito, and again it's tied to, like, a spirit or a sort of deity aspect. In this instance, it's the deity that turns into a human, well, seemingly human. So we know Sengoku also has a Hito. His is an interesting one as well, because he isn't actually a golden Buddha. He's a golden Buddha statue, which I think is more fitting, because Buddha we know to be a real person. A golden Buddha is more of a symbolic sort of reference to enlightenment. Gold particularly is alchemy for, you know, the highest state of being, for example. So looking at these,
I hope we get more of Sengoku, bro. Like, I want to see him fight, man. Like, give us a flashback with Garp and Sengoku fighting guys like Roger and Zebek. I want to really see what that golden Buddha could do, because he kind of, we seen what he did with the Blackbeard pirates, man. The man ain't no joke. Let's just say that. The man ain't no joke in that golden Buddha statue.
Fruits and how Blackbeard's fruit works. I think you can speculate that Hitos are dimensional fruits in the sense that Luffy can change time and space with his imagination. The world around him changes, which again we see recently brought up by Vegapunk when he mentions warping and time space. Also, we've got San Juan, who can change his physical dimensions. I think maybe Onimaru is changing the dimension that he's in from spirit to human. And with Choppers, I think it's something that we're yet to find out. We'll find out something about it being evolutionary, or
maybe Onimaru, right? Maybe he has the normal Hito. Like, did they say he had like a model? Was there like a model to his Hito, or did they just say he had the Hito? Like, somebody let me know. Was it like a Hito no me model something, model monk or something? Like, I don't really remember, but maybe he just had a normal Hito, and Chopper has like a Hito Sasquatch or something. Cause Chopper, like, we know that zone users turn into the animal that they are, right? So Chopper is supposed to have the human fruit, but he doesn't seem to turn into a human. He seems to turn into a beast, like a human like beast. You know what I mean? Like, in his clothes is like, none of his forms, like, he has so many forms and none of them look human, right? None of them look human. So it just makes me think that maybe he doesn't have a normal Hito no Mi, right? Maybe he has some type of Sasquatch or Bigfoot or something. You know what I mean? So that's one thing I've always been thinking of Chopper. Like, Chopper doesn't have a human form. To have a human fruit, he doesn't have a human form. You know what I mean? So it always kind of confused me.
some form of significant power by the end game. So why?
Also in the ad, right? Like, I think Chopper's monster point is like his awakening. Like, when we look at like zone awakenings, I think monster point Chopper is his awakening. And I said that in the stream before, and somebody said, well, if it was his awakening, he'd be a human. So, you know what I mean? Like, we know that he has the human fruit, right? So his awakening should be more human-like, but it's not, right? But if it's not a normal Hito and it's like some Sasquatch, that would make sense why when he goes awakening, he loses control, but he still looks like a beast and not like a human. You know, because if he had a human fruit and he went awakening, I would think that the human aspect of it would make the awakening not go crazy. You know what I mean? He'll be like more like a human. The human takes over, so he'd be more calm and logical, right? But he goes full beast. He goes full beast when he goes awakening. So it makes me think maybe it's not like a human. Maybe it's like a Sasquatch or something. Because Sasquatches are still pretty wild, right? They're still like beast-like.
The Hito significant? Well, I think they're particularly powerful for a reason. They concern the spirit, according to the quote from Oda. So I think they're different from usual fruits, probably because of the spiritual binding to you that is in the self and the fruit, the relationship and the compatibility between the two. And I'll give you an example and the point of all this. I think when Karibo absorbs things, for example, food, he doesn't consume it. He just absorbs it and it holds it, for example, within the swamp. But with Blackbeard, I don't think this is the case. I believe it's possible that the darkness of the Yami Yami no Mi is a pocket dimension, and this is where God Valley disappeared to. There was a lot of speculation at the time about Blackbeard taking Whitebeard's fruit. Some people even thought he'd eaten his heart or something like that. But I think it's more likely that he absorbed his fruit. And then that's two fruits, and now we have it confirmed that he can manipulate a third fruit. He can give fruits to other people. Whether or not he can hold that fruit himself, we don't know. However, in my opinion, he can. The reason for this is because
I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that. I don't know if I agree. I think Blackbeard took out the devil fruit from Whitebeard. You know, and why I think that is because when we was in Dressrosa and we seen Jesus Burgess, he was trying to take Luffy's devil fruit. Like he had that knife and he was trying to take Luffy's devil fruit. Like Blackbeard wasn't around to help him and, you know, like absorb it and give it to him or anything. It was like he was trying to just extract the devil fruit from Luffy so he can have it. You know what I mean? So that makes me think that like the Blackbeard pirates have a way, a means of extracting devil fruits from people that does not require the Yami Yami ability. So based on that, it just makes me think that Blackbeard extracted the devil fruit without the use of the Yami Yami no Mi. So I don't know if I full it. I get it though. It does make sense though. It does make sense that he would absorb the Whitebeard's ability with the Yami Yami and possibly use it or whatever. It does make sense, but I'm just saying I think it's more of like actual just straight on extraction because Jesus Burgess he seemed like he was after Luffy's devil fruit, and it was like he knew. It seemed like he was confident that he could take it, that he had the means to take the devil fruit. So it just makes me believe that the Blackbeard pirates have a means of extracting devil fruits out of bodies without Blackbeard's ability. You know what I mean? Unless, let's say, Blackbeard infused his ability in that knife that Burgess was carrying, because we seen that he had like this big ass knife, you know. So I mean, I don't know.
when he absorbs things, they go into a pocket dimension similar to Obito and Naruto. I think that this space or this dimension could in fact be Davy Jones' locker. I'm starting to think that where we had Nika, Joy Boy and Luffy, we now have Davy Jones, Sebek and Blackbeard, particularly with Sebek's ties to the Davy Back fight.
I kind of like that. That's an interesting thought. Like Davy Jones being the original will of Sebek, right? Interesting thought right there. Like I like that. I like that.
Big Mum also mentions it's not her first time on a crew, or she implies it's not her first time on the crew, and she's surprised it's Kaido's. So that suggests to me that Sebek is deeply tied into the Davy Back fight, and that's probably how he won his members from other crews. Now, we do know some stuff about the locker in general. We know that it essentially collects up all the things that are at the bottom of the sea or swallowed by the abyss, you could say. For example, treasure, the dead, old ships, blah, blah, blah. So I think it's possible that the Yami contains a pocket dimension, and that pocket dimension is Davy Jones's locker. And I believe that can retain things that are in there. For example, the power of a fruit, will, maybe information. Maybe this is where Teach gets all of his history from, and his knowledge about Sebek, or his obsession about Sebek. This also adds to the contrast between Luffy and Blackbeard, because the sun, which is Luffy's fruit, is associated with life and birth, giving energy, whereas darkness is associated with death. Davy Jones's locker associated with death. Okay, so to summarize, I believe that the Hito Nomis are significant because they contain their own will, and I believe if that's compatible, or if there's a strong relationship between the two wills, yours and the will of the fruit, then that's a massive power-up. I believe Blackbeard went to Drum Island and to Impel Down to secure Hitos, and it wouldn't surprise me if we saw something between Blackbeard and Chopper towards the end of the story, revolving around the fruit. Okay, guys, well, make sure to like and subscribe, drop me a comment, let me know how you feel about the idea. Apologies for the poor audio quality.
Shout out to the boy Din Kushi, aka Had. I'm gonna give him a like. Hey, this will be in the description box for the YouTube. So y'all go show Denden Kushi some love. Go subscribe to his channel. Go like the video. All that good stuff. You know. We definitely support Denden over here. You know, big, you know, great guy. But all right, so Blackbeard went to Drum Island for Blackbeard went to Drum Island in order to get the Hito Hito no Mi. I mean, that would make sense. That would definitely make sense. I don't know if my only pushback is, how did he know that it was on Drum Island? Like, that would be my biggest pushback. How does Blackbeard know there is a Hito Hito devil fruit at Drum Island? Did Blackbeard have some type of devil fruit detection? Do devil fruits grow in certain devil fruits grow in certain locations? So it's easily deduced, like, okay, well, the Hito Hitos grow in Snow Island, so it could be on Drum Island, right? Like how would Blackbeard have known that the Hito Hito no Mi, or any Hito Hito no Mi, would be on Drum Island? Because it actually in my opinion, it does make sense that Blackbeard would be after a Hito Hito no Mi. Because again, if the Yami Yami no Mi is a Hito Hito no Mi, like if it really is, like kind of like we speculated, then maybe that's what he was after. You know, maybe he thought that the Yami Yami, aka the Hito Hito no Mi, let's say model moon god, just to kind of throw something out there, it would make sense that if that's the devil fruit he was after, maybe he thought it was on Drum Island, which would have been Chopper's devil fruit though. So it might have been the wrong Hito Hito no Mi that he was looking for, but still a Hito Hito nonetheless, right? Like maybe when he seen it, he was like, oh, this ain't the one I'm looking for. Gotta continue to search, right? So it does make sense though. It does make sense. I think it's possible. It's just my only pushback would be, how does he know that the Hito Hito was on Drum Island? That's like my own, that's just the question that I would need an answer to. You know, that's the question I would need an answer to really know that, yeah, Blackbeard was there for the Hito Hito no Mi. Because if he can't detect devil fruits, he wouldn't have known that it was there. So therefore, him being on Drum Island wouldn't have really, like, being there for a Hito Hito, it wouldn't have made sense. Because how do you know it's there? You know what I mean? How do you know it's there? I don't know. But yeah, y'all, that is pretty much the video. Y'all let me know what y'all think. You know, was Blackbeard was he on Drum Island for Chopper's devil fruit? Or maybe he thought the Yami Yami was there, confusing it for Chopper's devil fruit. You know, assuming that the Yami Yami is indeed a Hito Hito no Mi as well, just like a different version. So y'all let me know what y'all think, because, you know, I don't know. You know, like I said, how does he know that it's on Drum Island, right? How do you know where these devil fruits are located? You know, you got to have some type of radar, kind of like you find like the Dragon Ball radar, you know, where that's how they find Dragon Balls. Maybe Blackbeard has a devil fruit radar of some sort. I don't know. But yeah, that is pretty much the video, y'all. Y'all let me know your guys' thoughts. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you leave a comment. Also, follow me on Twitch so you can engage with me in real time. You can let me know your thoughts while I am reacting. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook if you want to get at me directly. Or join the Discord. Or I should say, and join the Discord, because that is where I'm the most active at. Especially if you want to connect with me, that is going to be where I'm the most active at. It's if you want to send me content to react to, the Discord is going to be the best place. That's where I'll take priority at. If you want to become part of a future discussion stream, be a part of join the Discord. But yeah, y'all, that is pretty much all I got for the video today. It's your boy Sean P, the Bluff God, and I'm out of here. Peace.